a creative owner, entrepreneur, or a business owner of all kinds, it is time to let people know what you are doing. For membership registration, go now to www.oyitc.com to register $50 for corporate and $25 for an individual. Trade show registration $500 for executives and $300 for basic. OYITC Houston 2022. This month, 25th to 30th of July 2022.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second day of OYITC, Organization of Youth in International Trade and Commerce, Houston 22 Trade Show and Exhibition. Looking at the theme of the role of trade exhibitions in promoting non-oil export trade in Nigeria. It was great yesterday and it's going to be super great and greater today. We look at the non-oil export sector, what is happening in the agro-allied sector, the textile, the shoe industry, the mining industry. We're even looking at the renewables, the biofuels, the wind farms and others. Beyond oil and gas, what are the potentials of these sectors in the Nigerian economy? How can we integrate youths to ensure economic prosperity and involvement, and also the question of minorities and women in fulfilling their dreams? Ladies and gentlemen, my name remains Sonny Lawrence Oputa, welcoming you again to this show. We promise you that the discussions we will have today, from the presentations on branding, the keynote speech, the opening remark, the discussions on role of minorities in the development of the non-oil sector, and for us to understand properly what OYITC stands for and why this trade show is very important. It is up for us wherever we are with the thousands of people here, delegates and participants in this conference today, and the millions of people watching us everywhere. It's an awesome day in Houston. And as we know, the beautiful weather in Houston, and we believe it's also beautiful weather in Nigeria, in all over Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and welcome the following to the high table for this. And from there, we're going to go ahead and have the anthem, the USA National Anthem and Nigeria National Anthem. I'll be calling upon the President and CEO of OYITC to come over to the table, Mr. Chinedu Amadi. Please, let's get our hands together for him. We are also welcoming Dr. N.J. Njideka Kelly, the President of Afro Agric, to come over to the high table, please. This is welcoming Sherry Balogun, Managing Director of Shellback Holdings, to come over. Please, let's get our hands together for him. Permit me to welcome Dr. Kit Rollins to come over, of the Kingdom Ambassadors Assemblies and also of New Generation. In the same token, we are welcoming Mr. Anthony Mofua, the Principal Consultant of Lekki Customers Operations and Consultancy, to the high table. Please, let's get our hands together for Sani Ozo Ibrahim, the CEO of Victory Finance and Investment and founding partner of Afro Agric. Let's get our hands together for him. Also inviting our super comedian and humorist, popularly known as Okunu, if he's around, for him to come and join us on the high table. And I also welcome our dear sister, somebody, I would say she's very patriotic to things of Nigeria. She have gotten to the point of making singing of the Nigerian National Anthem to become part of our DNA. Join us to welcome our dear Blessing Adorable to come and join us too. Our great audience, participants and delegates, wherever you are, the teams of people watching us all over the world, I want to thank you for this beautiful time and beautiful day. It's been an awesome time in Houston to exhibit the non-allied, the non-oil sector, from the agro, from the mining, from the textile, from the renewables, and the potentials of social media in what we are doing. It's also important to know that the economic platform has been built to ensure that people have a better focus and prism on what's going on in the world and how the business world can be developed. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, it's a give honor to who honor is due. Wherever you find yourself, respect the country and walk along with them. Let's go ahead and have the playing of the United States of America national anthem. And I'll call upon all of you, wherever you are seated, as this anthem is on, that we should obey that. Let's stand up. We're getting ready for the American national anthem. The United States of America has a good business relationship with Nigeria, good trade relationship with Nigeria. They're enhancing the non-oil sector and even the oil sector everywhere. A good commercial agreement with Nigeria and good support. So we are happy to have this exhibition and promotion this time in Houston, the energy capital of the world and the business center in America. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was the American national anthem. Ruby, go ahead to call upon our dear friend and patriot, Lexing, to come and render the Nigerian anthem. Thank you. That was great. Thank you, Blessing. That was great. To render the national anthem of Nigeria, to observe the glory of the motherland. We are so happy that this trade show and exhibition is taking place today to give a big showcase of what is going on. There is hope for Nigeria. There is hope for the youth. And there are winds of prosperity sailing, and we believe that will come surely to pass. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we want to call upon the president of Organization of Youth in International Trade and Commerce, like I mentioned to you, a geologist, a petrophysicist of distinction. He started his journey by studying geology at Futo, Owerri, did his master's degree at Leeds University, that is in UK, and he's a doctoral degree pursuit in view from University of Nigeria Nsukka, specializing on energy security, a great investor in real estate and IT, somebody who is deep in development of business and creation of wealth, a patriot of distinction, and a philanthropist numero uno. Ladies and gentlemen, our great participants from all over the world and every part of Nigeria, Sub-Saharan Africa, let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Chinedu Amadi for his opening remark.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I stand on existing protocols. I'm very delighted today, day 2 of the OYITC Houston 22 Trade Show and Exhibition being held at the Expo Event Center in Houston, Texas. We enjoyed and we saw the panel discussion of yesterday, and we looked at the opportunities of non-oil exports in Nigeria. And the excitement is that there is hope for Nigeria. The OYITC has become a point that Nigerians and diasporans and investors can meet to look at the opportunities and see how to participate and discover and develop Nigeria and Africa through trade shows and exhibitions where youth and women entrepreneurs can engage, market, sell, and prosper in their various products, in their creative content, and in their competencies. And so, today, I want us to look forward with much hope that the giant Nigeria has the chance to wake up to the call by its people because of the numerous resources that is abundant on the continent and that is available to be accessed if properly harnessed. This trade show that we have started and we believe that is exposing the potentials of our great continent and Nigeria is here to make sure that everyone that is listening, that is watching, that has seen, can become a part of a great project. So I invite all to take the opportunity that we're offering and liaise with us and work with the OYITC. We ask the government that what they are doing back home, that more can be done. And we ask investors, angel investors, we ask kingdom investors to come in to become a part of a great system through the OYITC. Thank you once again, and let's enjoy today's trade show. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. President Chinedu Amadi of OYITC. Before I go ahead to call upon the keynote speaker for today, I would like to invite one of us, somebody who has been delved into social media and IT, who has done a lot to maximize the opportunities in promoting such business and involving women and youth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's join our hands together to welcome Bukky Wright to come to the high table to join the discussion. Our keynote speaker for today is a lady who is very much involved in public speaking. She's involved in leadership and organization, done a lot of works as an author of several books. She is a linguist, starting all the way from University of Port Harcourt, where she obtained her BA. She went to University of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, obtained diploma in Swahili language, worked with the city of New York as a director, got to the point of consulting and training and human capital development. She's also the principal founder of AfroAgric and the CEO of New Generation Consulting Company. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us to welcome the keynote speaker, Dr. Njideka Kelly. Let's get our hearts together for the keynote speaker for today.
Greetings and welcome, everyone, to day 2 of this trade show organized by OYITC. Respected guests, ladies and gentlemen, our friends, vendors, business owners, people of Houston, I welcome you to day 2 of this trade show. Allow me to begin by just simply stating that people attend trade shows and exhibitions for various reasons. One of the most important of those reasons is that they come to learn new things, to see what's out there, to find solutions to problems that they are facing, and to sell unique products or unique ideas of theirs to the public. This is why this is so important. This show that is organized by OYITC to bring the youth of Nigeria to Houston to discuss, to show, to implement all that they do. The youth of Nigeria are hard working, as we know. The women of Nigeria are hard working, innovative, creative, and most of all are nurturers. The people of Nigeria generally are creative people. The people of Nigeria will do well in the world economy if given a chance. This is why this trade show is so important, that people everywhere understand that Nigeria has a lot to contribute to the world. Growing economies like Nigeria have benefited immensely from trade shows and exhibitions. These shows have opened up the international markets for locally produced goods. The local consumers have also gotten the opportunity to learn about the new and innovative products that other international businesses and organizations have. Trade shows such as this will open up avenues for Nigeria to reduce poverty within the nation, to sustain broad-based economic growth, to achieve economic stability in Nigeria. This is why OYITC is putting this up together. And this is the reason that the first port of call is Houston, where we know we have a very large concentration of Africans. Houston is indeed the melting pot. And if you're here tomorrow, you will hear from the mayor's office of Houston to talk about why this is so relevant in the growing economy of both Nigeria and of Texas. In a move driven towards increasing the nation's economic growth, the nation, I mean Nigeria, Nigeria organized its first international trade fair and exhibition in 1962. It was a phenomenon that saw 41 countries in attendance. This is going to replicate that 1962 trade fair, I tell you, if given the opportunity. So we're asking the Nigeria government to support the OYITC. We're asking the government of the United States. We're especially hoping that there will be collaboration between OYITC and the mayor's office in Houston to promote more of these trade shows that will bring attention, needed attention, to the development and to the constructive techniques that the people of Nigeria have in economics. However, several factors, including the low intra-African engagement in trade, have been critical in ensuring that this economic growth stalls. This is why, again, we're asking for support. These obstacles that we face, we must conquer. If Africa is going to be developed as it should, if Africa is going to feed itself, then Africa needs business people, Africa needs indigenes with their creativity to be part of the discussion on how to grow the economy of Nigeria. OYITC, as a first, is doing what they're supposed to do in making sure that things are moved properly. Given the rapid expansion and development of trade from a global perspective, trade shows and exhibitions play a critical role in accelerating the global economic integration of developing economies such as Nigeria. Evidence reveals that trade shows and exhibitions support the small and medium entities in Nigeria as well as in other places. Further evidence posits that trade and exhibitions in Nigeria have played a fundamental role in increasing employment opportunities while encouraging producers and manufacturers to compete vigorously. Competition is good for business. Trade shows will enable that. The Afro Agric Expo of 2018 brought farmers from the United States to Abuja, the ICC Convention Center, to talk about ways that we could curtail the disturbances and the conflicts between herdsmen and ordinary people, as well as farmers in Nigeria. Unfortunately, that trade show and expo was not well received at the time by the government of Nigeria. Well, that should not be. As we move forward in working with OYITC, Afro Agric Expo will continue to bring innovative ways and creative ways for a merger between the herdsmen, between farmers, and the people of Nigeria. This is all for growth. This is all for economic expansion. This is all for development. So we encourage Nigeria government to help support initiatives such as this. As I conclude, I urge everyone to take a thorough look at the works on display. In this site, we have different businesses, different vendors displaying their products. We encourage people to visit. We encourage people to interact. We encourage people to promote and to support these vendors. The best of the best is yet to come. Yesterday and today we had the alkaline water. I bought me some things from Shabby Herbs, a facial mask made from local ingredients. I mean, there's just so much. The clothes manufacturers, the leather goods, and all of that. This is what OYITC is bringing to you. Thank you very much, and I pray and hope that you have an excellent exhibition.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. That was good for them to understand how important it is for people to attain a trade show of this nature. We are grateful for the keynote speech from Dr. Kelly and the expositions she has made. It's so wonderful to see the country rising again, the youth getting involved, men and women, everybody chipping in to show a new paradigm. That's a paradigm shift, and that paradigm shift is based on thinking outside the box, looking at other areas that we can involve the youth, that people can make money doing something on their own. You can even make money by being a local farmer, and there are international markets for you, whether it's cassava, whether it's cashew nut, whether it's ginger, anything, maize. Look at it, testo. Whatever thing you're doing, there is a platform for you to showcase yourself. But after doing that, you need to brand yourself very well to ensure that you have market acceptability. Ladies and gentlemen, the key presentation we have today will be coming from Dr. Kit Rowe. Dr. Kit Rowe is the Managing Principal Executive Leadership Coach from the Excellence Network, LLC. Dr. Kit Rowe spent more than 25 years in the USA military. He's been a motivational speaker, a coach. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the key presentation from Dr. Kit Rowe on branding. Let's get our hands together for him.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And our protocol has been established, so it's no need to go back and do that. And I have a PowerPoint presentation, hopefully that you will be able to follow along. And I just am excited to be a part of this expo. And, you know, business is key. And I just pray that many of you who are entrepreneurs, you have products, you will glean something from this presentation today. Like I said, they'll put the PowerPoint up momentarily. And I spent 25 years in our United States Air Force as an enlisted man as well as a chaplain. And I had an opportunity to being the chaplain in Texas at Lackland Air Force Base working with the young people. And when you work with youth, Mr. Chinadu, they keep you young. And I'm not going to tell my age, but I'm past 60, but I'm 60-40. I look 40. So that's my presentation today for the OYITC at this trade expo. And we're going to talk about branding, if you can go to the next slide. But before I get started, I want to tell a story. I have been to Nigeria about 15 times, and I started a nonprofit when I got out of the military, and I thought I was going to start a church, but I had a prophetic word given to me when I was at Oral Roberts University that I would go to the nations. When I was stationed in the military over on the island of Guam, which is only 7 miles long and 2.5 miles wide, some missionaries from Africa was at the church where I was a member, and they came to me and said that God said that you will be a missionary to Africa. This was not a figment of my imagination, nor did I have any desire and aspiration to be a missionary to Africa. But God had the last laugh, and God has the last word. So when I got out in 2000 and 2001, I incorporated and I started the Royal Ambassadors Ministry. It wasn't named that at that time, but my late spiritual father and mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, when I would go to the Bahamas to leadership summits that he would have, he gave a prophetic word over me and said, "You are an ambassador to the nations." And I shook in my feet. And so Cameroon was the first nation I went, then South Africa, and also Africa. And I wanted this to be a view of a coming attraction. I was preaching in a church in Nigeria, and it was early in the morning, and the Lord prompted me to pray for all of the entrepreneurs and business people. So I said, all of the business people stand up. And everybody in the church, Dr. NJ, stood up. And Mr. Sonny, I thought they misunderstood what I said, and I said again, you may have misunderstood me, but all of the entrepreneurs and the business people stand up thinking that they would sit down if they were not a businessman. So nobody sat, and I was scratching my head, and I don't have much hair now, but I did have hair back then. And the pastor said, they are entrepreneurs, whether they're 8 years old, on the street, selling water, selling cassava, selling peanuts, selling cashew. And I said, well, let me shut my mouth and let me pray for the entrepreneurs. So branding is very important. If you can show that slide. When you think about yarn, I taught at the University of Phoenix, and I taught a class on creative and critical thinking. And I used this graphic to just understand the mindset and the thought processes of my students. And one of the things that I want to say to you, Mr. Chinedu, is that a lot of the young people, the millennials and the Gen Zs and the Gen A, they are brilliant thinkers. And so I'll ask them, when you see this yarn, what comes to mind and what can you create or invent from that? And I had so many answers from my class that it blew my mind. So we're going to talk about branding today and what branding is. We're going to talk about the processes, the different form of branding, and we're going to give you some resources that you can have in your toolbox that, based on your products that you have or the services that you give, you can brand them so that it will give you exposure to a wider global market. And that is what's in vogue now, that we think not only local, but we think global. And not only do we think global, but we got to also think kingdom. And so we talked about a little bit about that yesterday, about having a kingdom mindset and also being kingdompreneurs. What is branding? Branding is a way to identify a special product, good, service, or entity such as a business or a ministry. The way to accomplish this is by establishing a name. Now, when you were born, your mother or your father gave your name. So that sets the tone for your identity, your character, your personality, and who you are. And if you are in business, you need to have a name. And you need to follow the proper protocols of getting your business established so that you can be recognized by government entities and other entities that can give you the revenue that will make you a wealth accumulator. So many times people start off as mom and pop, and they have a good name, but they don't go about to brand themselves. And I went to a conference one time, Mr. Sonny, and this gentleman, boy, he was a preacher, but he was involved in so many businesses and entrepreneurial things. And that showed me that you need many revenue streams. Wouldn't you agree? You need many revenue stream. Now, those of you who are in the audience and on the panel, say something to me so that they won't think we're here at an empty room, all right? So you got to, it's a logo or a slogan to differentiate one entity for another. And we think about Nike, just do it. And Coke, it's the real thing. It's amazing how Coke has gone all around the world. Even some of the poorest nations, they have Coca-Cola. So if Coca-Cola can do it, you can do it also. All right, next slide. How do we form and protect our brand? You have an idea, and you have that creativity. And I'm going to use a hand illustration after I go through a few talking about the different types of different things. You establish how you want to be known, how you want to be recognized, and how you want to be seen. Do you want your business name or your acronym or your logo or tagline or all three to be the way that we brand this entity? Think about that. How do you want to be known? You know, you can put on the Nike shoes and you see that logo on it, and what comes to mind, just do it. And so your branding of your product, your goods, and your services, everybody should know what you're all about by that slogan, by that trademark, etc. And therefore, that's how you become a household name. So I started telling you when I went to this conference, this gentleman had such an ingenious mind. And he said if the Lord told him to put a jet engine on a chicken, that chicken will be like a plane and fly because it was God inspired. And many of you have many brilliant ideas, but you are stuck and you do not know how to move from the mom and the pop category, and you stay there. So this trade show today is an opportunity for you to network with the creme de la creme. You saw the panelists yesterday and those who are experts. I'm a consultant, Dr. NJ is a consultant, and my friend here, Sonny, is a consultant. And I said to NJ after his great moderation yesterday, I didn't know that boy had skills. No, I'm just kidding. And I said to him the second day, man, did you read up on us? He said, no, I didn't. But he has that knack, and he had that skill sets and that gifting, and he has that sharp mind. So I want to encourage you, and I'm pointing to you. I remember when I was a boy growing up, President Oral Roberts, I went to Oral Roberts University, a proud graduate of that school, and he would point his finger into the television and say something good is going to happen to you. So before we conclude this conference, those of you who are aspiring to become a business person or an entrepreneur, those of you who may be an existing or an emerging, something good is going to happen to you, and you're going to know how to brand your goods and services, and you're going to go boy and you're going to go girl. Your brand is also your signature. You know, your name means something. And back during the days of the king, they had and even in the Bible, they had a signet ring. And when everybody saw any document that had that imprint or that mark from the king's signet ring, that was a branding. That was a trademark. And that was law. And you had to obey it. And you know, back during the day, we didn't sign a lot of contracts, but today you have to do that. And therefore, it was just a handshake, because my handshake meant something and my word to you was my bond. And therefore, branding protects you, and we're going to move along right quickly. It's a legal protected brand that's known as a trademark. Go to the next slide, please. Your trademark is your intellectual property. It protects others from damaging your brand. You know, there are a lot of the scammers and phishers out there on the internet, and therefore, that's why you need to go through the proper legal channel. If you got some type of business, a logo or slogan, you ought to get it brand. And two types of trademark applications are current use in the commerce and the intent to use in the comment. Next slide. I want to show you something. I want to use a personal example. I hold annual leadership summits in honor of my late spiritual father and mentor and coach, Dr. Miles Monroe, who's bigger in death than he was in life. And I came up with this bright title, EntreLeadership in Global Markets. Little did I know that EntreLeadership was a trademark. So we had made up all of our literatures and all of our booklets, and one of my speakers sent it to the people, and they contacted me, and they said, "Did you know that you're in violation of a trademark?" And I said, "No, I didn't." Put up the next slide. And I immediately spent a lot of money, and I had to pull that down, and then I had to come up with my own branding, Kingdom Leadership in Global Market, because they, you know, like kind of gave me a little soft scare, and you know, they'll threaten lawsuits and anything. So you want to protect yourself, and you may come up with an idea, but you need to do your research to make sure that there isn't a trademark, okay? All right. And then also, say for instance, Delta Airlines. There are other, if you go into Lowe's or if you go into, what's the other one, Home Depot, you will see some faucets and sinks with Delta on there. And so Delta Airline has their branding and their trademark, but then in this textile or whatever it's called with those sinks, there's also Delta, and they have done it so that they are protected with their trademark. So that's because a name is out there. That doesn't mean that you cannot use it with your product, just long as you don't use it with Delta Airlines product. Okay? You understand that. Then there's what's known as other forms. I'll do this, and that way it won't be an interruption saying next slide. So when you see me do that, go to the next slide, please. Copyright, that's one form of intellectual property. A lot of people in the academic world, they'll do copyright, or somebody write a book, they want it copyrighted. And then there's the fair use. That means that there are certain uses that do not infringe that copyrights owner rights, such as a journalist. If you had to do a doctoral degree, you can go and you can do research in a library, and even though it's copyrighted, as long as you give that person credit, you can use that information. So it's fair game. And then lastly, there are patents, and it protects inventions. So if you come up with an invention, you can protect your invention so that nobody can steal it. And here's the application process. What does the process entail? You must indicate the entity type, basis for filing, intent to use, and current use, provide a logo. You see some of the logos, Afro Agrit, OYITC, and other vendors here at this expo. They have a logo. I have a logo for the Excellence Network. I have a logo for my Royal Ambassadors Ministry. You have a logo, and that logo is your symbol or your artwork to be associated with your name, your product, your goods, and your services. And it provides a specimen for current use application. And these are real-world examples of how you are currently using your mark. And I didn't put mine up, but Royal Ambassadors, you know, I have a globe with an eagle, with a scepter, flying to the nation, because that's what I do. I have gone to 42 different nations in my lifespan so far, and I'm a royal ambassador to the nation. The cost and the process. And I've been to Nigeria the most of all of the government nations that I have been to. I love Nigeria. I'm married to a Nigerian. I'm an Igbo man. And when I went to Nigeria the first time for almost 20 years ago, they put the red cap on me because they said that boy is a bad boy and he's a chief. They didn't know that I was born a king, king of kings. All right, here's the cost and the process. It's wise to conduct a search before using the trademark or a branding or applying for one. And all applicants must pay a non-refundable $599 governmental fee to file. So some of you that are here that have the water and you have other goods and services and you have the food, you want to go ahead and do this. Go and file the filing fee, $599. You are assigned an examining attorney who will make the final determination for your goods or services and your name, your logo, or your slogan. And we have here in the United States, I don't know if they have it in Nigeria, what's called United States Patent Office, Patent and Trade Office. And they'll give you a serial number. Just like when you're writing a book, the Library of Congress will give you an ISBN number. And therefore, that work and that number identifies you and your work, and it's important that you have that number, and also you get a tax ID with the IRS, etc. Applicants can either be accepted or rejected, and it can be as short as 6 months to 16 months. All right. The proposed mark is merely descriptive, and it can be deceptive. Misdescription of the applicant's goods or service. Examples of merely descriptive mark which will be refused could include medical guide for website services featuring medical guides, denim for jeans, and spicy sauce for salsa. The proposed mark consists of our company or compromises. These compromises are immoral, they're deceptive, and they can be scandalous. There are a lot of people out there that will take your logo and they can just with a little twinge, put something in there, and then it could be immoral, it could be deceptive, and say you have a branding, Mr. Sonny, or you have a branding, NJ, and they say, well, it's a household name, what you doing? But then they want a piece of the action, and they'll go and they'll twist that logo just a little bit, and a lot of your consumers will think that they are getting your product and someone has stolen your identity. There are a lot of identity theft, and all kinds of things go on. That's why you need to go the legal route. And it pays to protect yourself. All right? I'm not going to go through reading a lot of this, so you can just look at it. It could be the flag, the coat of arms, or other insignia. All of these things are your branding, and it's very important. Now, if I were to ask the audience on a coat of arms back during the days of the kings and whatnot, and the countries have coat of arms, it identified who you were as a nation, and it also identified your family. And then also a coat of arms is a branding that's similar to your business, who you're known for. And so go to the Patent and Trademark Office there in Washington, D.C., and you can learn more about that. Let's go to the ways to apply, and then we're going to take questions from the answers. So like I said, I'm not going to go through all of the slides. And a copy of these slides, Mr. Chinadu, they're yours. Anything I do, I don't put no copyright on it because it came from the Holy Spirit, inspired from God, and I want you to have it so that you can be a success. Okay, here are the ways that you apply for your branding, your copy, or your copyright, or your trademark. The three ways are: you hire an attorney. I did that when I filed my NLC, or when I went to get my nonprofit established. Or you can do the filing yourself. You go through a legal documentation processing company, and I put up here LegalZoom.company. I used them, and I contacted them, and you can take down this number and name, and he gave me some information. Put it back up, please, so that they may want to write it down. That's if it's being shown over YouTube. And this person right here, he's in sales, but you can contact him or email him, and depending on whatever class you're in, it could be oil and gas, it could be clothing, it could be manufacturing, it could be any type of services, it could be computers, and they will direct you to the right place so that you can talk to that expert attorney so that they can help you. All right, there again, LegalZoom, they are known all over, and they can help you with this. Here are the classes. The price range could be anywhere from $250 to $350, depending on if you're in clothing or whatever you may be in. And the packaging does not include the government filing fee of $5.99. And if you're going for an LLC, it costs $79. That's peanuts. That's a week at McDonald's. And then corporations, if you want to file for a corporation with them, it's $149. Nonprofits and doing business as $99. Let me just say about this doing business as, don't get stuck there. Go ahead and file a legal name or an LLC for your business and for your products. Put the slide back up, please. Here's the process. Fill out an online questionnaire which translates into an application. Do the basic research and decide if you would like to proceed. The logo and the specimen are prepped for filing black and white logos versus colored logos, electronic signatures obtained and filed. One of the things that I want to just really stress here is that you can do this yourself. And you can go on the internet and you'll see all kinds of forms and all kinds of companies just say pay $99. And you find out it was deceptive, and you find out it was a scam. So you got to be very careful there. Okay? And then say, for instance, you want a website. A lot of times when you're going into filing with the government and getting grants and other resources, they're going to look at your website. And it can't be shabby. I was telling them before the expo started that when I came out of Oral Roberts, I was living in Washington, D.C., and I worked a temp job until I went to the church where I was on staff as a pastor, one of the associate pastor. And in this lawyer's office, so many people were contacting them saying, hey, did you get this and you didn't get that? And so, Mr. Sonny, what I found out is that the young men in that mailroom was trained. If it wasn't of excellence, don't you think that's of excellence right there? But you know what they did? It went into file 13. And they did not, and I had to deliver this to the lawyers, and that stuck in my head. And it continues to be in my head. Anything you do, listen to this, entrepreneurs. Do it in the spirit of excellence. Let me just tell you something, and then we're going to wrap this up, and we'll answer any questions. When I asked my late spiritual father and mentor and coach to be my mentor, I didn't think I would hear from him. In the Bahamas, he gave me an assignment to come, and I prepared my vision statement with pictures and all types of graphics, and I really spent money for it, and I had it like a blueprint, like the architects would use when they are doing some type of development in a tube. And he said, you only have 5 minutes. And I immediately unrolled it, and I laid it out. And he looked at it, and he said, wow. And he saw my vision. He saw my mission, and he saw that I was a man of excellence. Because excellence sees excellence, excellence begets excellence, and excellence reproduces excellence. So the panelists here are expert in their fields, they're consultants, and you can consult them also to help you go to the top and be a success. All right. 2 more slides, and then we're done. 1 more slide. Here's some contact information. The USPT office here in the United States. You can also go to the Department of Commerce, Library of Congress, expert consultants or specialists like such as on my colleagues here. And then there are branding agencies that you can go to, and there are many more, but those were just a few that I put up. So network with other people. And then I said I was going to use the hand illustration. I thought start with the thumb. You're a creator, and you are a inventor. And your thumbprint needs to be on that creation and that invention. Then the pointer finger, you need to become a producer and produce those goods and those services. And then the middle finger, move from creator to inventor to producer to be a distributor. I was talking to the man, the entrepreneur that had the water there, and I drink alkaline water, but he said, my water is not like any other water. So he can be a producer. And I said, let's look at how we can help getting your water in some of these big food chains and places. And then the ring finger. You know, it's been said that the reason why we put our ring on our left finger if we're married, because there's a nerve that goes up to our heart. That's why you like your honey boo and you like your wife and all of that. So then you become an innovator. And we talked about that yesterday. And you gave the story about that young man who was an innovator, and he thought outside of the box. In fact, he blew up the box, and he wasn't limited to think inside the box. And when you're an innovator, you blow up the box, and you don't use the same tried and true methods. You're not one-dimensional, but you're three-dimensional. And then the little pinky finger, even though the little, you know, you drink tea with your little pinky finger and everything, but you want to move from creator, inventor, producer, distributor, innovator to a wealth accumulator and be like Mr. Sonny Abraham, own all the money in the world. Thank you very much. Next slide, question and answers or comments. Put up the last slide. Next to last slides. Questions plus ideas equal dollars. Show me the money, Sonny. All right. Any questions from the panel? Any questions from our audience? All right. Last slide. You want questions?
Thank you, Mr. Knowles. Probably there might be contribution from the panel. That's a wonderful presentation, I must say. Let's know if there's anybody that has. But first of all, let me ask you, what's the integration between branding and marketing? Branding, marketing, and sales, the integration.
See, marketing is how you, marketing is more of how you sell yourself, all right? Like you want to market yourself, but your branding is your name and your logo and your signature. And you use various marketing tools like the internet to make yourself known out there. That's how you market. Like with this conference, you go to newspapers, you do public service announcement, you're marketing your conference, and you do this also with your business. So branding is your stamp. Hey, this is my invention. This is my creative baby. This is my product that through blood, sweat, and tears, this is a God-inspired idea or invention And so I want my brand on it. And Coke did it, Nike did it, and you can do it too. You go, boy. All right, any other questions from the audience?
Just a contribution. Thank you, Dr. Keith Roll. Very impressive presentation. I think we've all learned quite a bit from your presentation. I would say Joseph, sharing from my experience working with entrepreneurs and some of them from Nigeria here. And, you know, we identified branding as a key challenge for entrepreneurs getting into the global market. And so we were working with some particular groups and looking at branding. And in our local parlance, you know, we would say plantain chips. When you make plantain chips and tied in plastic bags, just tied in plastic bags, it's called pekere in Nigeria, you know, plantain chips. And we have packaged plantain chips. And so we always say the difference between, you know, that packaged plantain chips and your pekere is the branding or the packaging itself. Mm-hmm. So we find out that just doing proper branding can grow the value of a product, you know, tremendously. So we saw people tie products in poly bags and sell it for 1/3, 1/4 the price. And the moment they put it in a proper package, the value grows, you know, almost 4 times, 5 times the price. So what we're taking from that is that, you know, when people sit back a bit and do proper branding, that will give value to their product. And so they should take it as a very key important part of, you know, getting into the global market. Because when you get into the stores, you know, you get into the African stores, you get into other stores, and you see same product, but because you look at the packaging of that product, you want to identify yourself with that product. But the content may be the same, but because of the product, the way they've packaged it, you quickly pay more for that product. And so that's the impact of branding. Thank you.
While Dr. Kelly is getting ready to say something, is there a question from our internet audience, Sunny? Is there any question from the internet audience?
Yeah, there's a question after you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I was just going to say that I recognize a journalist from Nigeria, Ms. Gladys Johnson. I know Gladys has, yes, Gladys is right here. And Gladys has shifted from print media to electronic media. And I just wanted to get her perspective on branding and marketing and how electronic media enhances brands, if that is so. Please pass the mic to Gladys.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gladys Johnson. I'm sorry I came very late. I was actually. Well, I'm a journalist from Nigeria, and I've been coming and going until 2017 when I decided to stay here. And then I was a brand journalist in Nigeria also. So what we used to do as a brand editor, we used to critique products, and then either we promote it or we bring it down. And then we used to look at the packaging. Then, before we project a product, you have to give it to us to test, so that we would know. Well, there was that. For example, there was an advert in Nigeria. This energy drink. They call it. There was one name they called it. So all the journalists that tested that some of us did not sleep for 3 days. So we called them and told them that, look, we've not been sleeping. We don't know what you put inside that stuff. they now had to call us back. But eventually, when they called us, the day they gave it to us, they launched it. They were somehow, with attitude and arrogance. But when we told them that all of us we've not been sleeping for 3 days, do you want us to go on air? They called us back. We told them that this can abort pregnancy or something like that. And they changed it. I'm sure they reduced it. Because in Nigeria, they have, in Lagos, the kind of Coca-Cola they give to Lagosians, the sugar content is lower than the one they give to the Northerners. So we always know all that. So if you want to drink, then when we got to America here too, it's a little bit different because when they say the packaging and the content too, because America has a way of reducing, standardizing their beer here is like water. When we're drinking it, you don't feel intoxicated. Unlike when you take Guinness from Nigeria, we always look for it here because it's different. It's different. So then we critique adverts too. So there are some adverts when it comes to children content. Then you start using some kind of funny words that's derogatory words that's not meant for children. So we always look for such adverts and we start writing about it immediately. It makes them to change those products and their packaging. So that's part of the things we do in critiquing products and branding. So and marketing also. So, but here, then I've been to, due to the newsroom politics, made me to go around all the bits. You can imagine. When they feel oh, she's making so much money here. You see somebody, whatever they will do, they will just move you to another place. And each bit goes with their languages, which is quite different from each other. When you go to oil and gas, their language is different. If you go to the legal system, it's different. So then when you go to a different bit, you start from the scratch to start learning the language that goes with those bits. So I've been everywhere, and then I became an energy editor. I started writing on oil and gas. I started writing on oil and gas, and I was once the secretary of the National Association of the Energy Correspondents. And then I think I resigned from here. I handed over from here, I didn't resign. I handed over from here when I got here. So I'm still here. I'm the publisher of Global Business Drive magazine, and it's online too. And then I forfeited it, but Dr. Kelly rescued it because I didn't know, when I got here, I needed to learn the system. Nigeria is a different ballgame entirely. You can do anything and get away from Nigeria. But here, when I found out that I can go to jail if I don't file for business tax and all that, I decided to push it under the cover for a while, and that was how I forfeited it. Well, God helped me. One thing I found out, if you forfeit a business here, everybody will be afraid. They don't know if you committed fraud with it. So they don't want to go with it. That was what saved it. And then I didn't commit any fraud. It's just that I didn't continue with it. So Dr. Kelly now helped me and then recovered it back. He's now Global Business Drive LLC. Wow. Yeah. So I'm so sorry that I came very late, but this I was telling all the Nigerians I met in the hospital, because I work in the hospital, doctors, nurses, I said, please, Nigerians are doing something somewhere in Belay. I kept sending the address. I said, please reach out. And that was it. Thank you so much.
All right, one more.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was powerful from our journalists. I just want to contribute as a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a professional business analyst. I just want to give a little advice to our exhibitors and entrepreneurs out there. As an entrepreneur, there's something you want to take really serious, especially when you feel that you just 1 to 5 people running a business. Like your company size is no more than 5 people. You feel that you can just do whatever you want to do. You want to take documentation seriously. You want to take filing seriously, because as a businessman, sometimes the business is not going the way you want it to go. So at that time, you want to introduce business analysis. So in business analysis, 3 stages are involved. First is either you are introducing a new product, we call it business new business skills, or you are enhancing your business skills, or probably you are having a business re-engineering. So 2020 we had recession, and a lot of business were having issues based on the recession and the pandemic and all of that. So a lot of companies had to go back to their drawing board and start to check how they can readjust themselves into new settings and then get themselves up and running, because they don't want to go down the drain with the system, the pandemic. At that time, if you don't have a good filing system prior to the pandemic, a business analyst might have a tough time trying to help you re-enhance your system. Because what a business analyst does is that he's most likely the subject matter expert to the team that is helping you take care of the business. A business analyst will work with the project manager. A business analyst will work with the data analyst on set. A business analyst will also work with a DBA, that is a database administrator on set, and much more. So a business analyst is more or less a subject matter expert to the team that will help you take your business from the step where you are to the next stage. Right. So a business analyst job mostly is doing taking business requirements and then help you to use this requirement to advance you to the next stage. So he does not have much documents to work with if you were not doing proper filing before now. So documentation as an entrepreneur is very key. Whatever you do, take for instance, you are an estate agent. You want to lease an apartment for somebody. It's more than just giving the client application form to fill. You still have to go ahead and introduce a letter of intent or an offer letter. This will help you bridge the gap between the vendor and the leaser or the purchaser that wants to buy the property. So your documentation is something you don't want to write off, because it's going to help you when you want to enhance your business or when you want to re-engineer your business, especially when you have a setup that is not adjusting to the new setup of what is trending or what will help you take your business from point A to point B. So your filing system, your documentation process must be top-notch. You must have everyone on deck that will help you take care of. And then you need to understand team building as an entrepreneur. You don't want to do everything by yourself. Because you are the business owner does not give you the utmost power to work as a business analyst, work as a project manager, work as a data analyst, work as the receptionist. No. You must have everybody, and then you must know how to communicate with those people and drive results, because all you want is data-driven decisions that will help you move your business to the next stage. Thank you.
Mr. Chenier, and then I'm going to give a closing quote.
Yeah, thank you. It was very interesting and educating listening to the last speaker talk about branding, trademarks, and all. I just want to share something about the importance of trademarks, branding, and also registration of your various products, and even your company name itself. Now, starting from the issue of trademark, I had a friend who was a journalist who came up with a brilliant idea about publishing a document which he called Niger Times. And he had registered this company and had even started publishing online. Only for him 6 months down the line to get a letter from an attorney saying that he has infringed on a trademark. So here he had a very good product. He has even started making money from it, but someone had registered that trademark. He never thought about it, but what he could not understand was it that the trademark was registered after he had started his business and the person saw that this is becoming successful, or somebody had the same idea and had registered the trademark before. So as I speak, he's still in litigation. So you can see, if you're starting off, you might have a product which is not successful or is at a teething stage, but as you begin to grow, sharks will begin to lock around to show their face. So it's very important from the beginning that you register the trademark for any product that you have.
And branding.
Very, very important for your branding.
Yeah.
And secondly, coming as easy as it looks, registering even your domain name. You find out that a lot of people now look for successful businesses and they go and register a domain name in that business name. So you find out you are in trouble, or you want to register your website, and then you go and find out that somebody already is using your name. And I had a personal experience with that. My company, Shebag Holdings Limited, I wanted to register a web name, a domain name, and I found that somebody already was using that name. 3 years down the line, somebody wrote me and said, I have this domain name, and it's for sale. If you want to buy it, it's $60,000. And it's my company name. But then I couldn't do anything about that. So, it's very critical in terms of, doing this little registration, trademark, domain name, and things like that. And then lastly, the last speaker spoke about, checking documentation registration. Very important too. Many years back, when I was registering another company, I gave it to a lawyer. The last speaker said, some of these things you can actually do it yourself, and it's good to learn how to do it. A company was registered, and not very active, but then started getting some good businesses and became active. And then you suddenly discover that the person who registered the company, or the attorney, has his name as a director of that company. Yes, exactly. So it's very important that we take note of this and check. Documentation is very, very critical. You check as much as not even accepting when they bring you a document that says, okay, this is the registered document showing your name as a director, address, and all of that. You need to probe with the CAC, as it's called in Nigeria, or here, like he's mentioned, the authority that does exactly Corporate Affairs Commission. And you need to check. Do a simple search to show the true directors, or else you're going to get a shocker somewhere down the line. So this is just an addition to the issue of branding, registration, and trademark. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Just one quick thing. As much as you are, keeping documents and making sure that your documents are done properly, it's also very, very critical to understand document management, okay? Paper clutter is no longer in fashion. So as you register your documents, your businesses, you want to save them in the cloud, okay? So what does that mean? It means that it's tucked away somewhere for hundreds of years, and you can pull it wherever, whenever, because you lose paper. You could have a fire. There are disasters that happen, and you find out that that one document that you had of your company registration is gone. Can you imagine if somebody else had put himself as a director and you have no proof? Because you lost that document. So document management is something else that entrepreneurs must have.
You say put it in the cloud, but you got to also save it to the cloud. Because a lot of things when they tell you updates, you better update it because it will not be synced and saved.
Let me quickly just add to what she's saying. Cloud management, it's more or less putting your files in a database that is untouched. It can be accessed by just any other person. Once your system tells you system denied, access denied, it's telling you that the particular code or entrance digits that you're supposed to use to access that file is not authorized. It simply means you should contact the authorized person to put in details. This is just a little advert. My company, Lucky Homes and Services. We are into project management, business analysis, data management, and cloud services. You can contact us on 346-280-9255 for more details. Thank you.
All right. And after this one, I'll give my quick summary and closure. 2 minutes for me.
I just want to buttress the point on branding. And at the same time, I would want to encourage those small-scale entrepreneurs that do not have the knowledge of all this branding. Branding simply means the way you want to be seen.
And known.
And known. And branding also means that, you know, there's this saying that you want to be seen the way you want to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, I'm just trying to break down all these grammars that we have all been speaking all day, because there are some of us that are just the small scale business owners. Some of us are just starting our businesses, and it does not mean that as little as your business is, you can still not brand it. Mm-hmm. You can brand it. For instance, as an actor, I happen to be a brand ambassador for a lot of products. You can be your own brand ambassador. And what do I mean by this? You want to appear the way you want your products to be addressed. That is what it simply means by all this grammar that we have been speaking about branding or no branding. Mm-hmm. Just make sure that your products is seen and addressed as you